Recently, while out yard sailing with my wife, I picked up an old aquarium for $10, and once I got it home I decided I needed to build a stand for it. Most of the stands I viewed on the internet were straight up and down, and I wanted something that looked a little more like a pedestal. The dimensions are the dimensions of the base of the aquarium plus 1/8 of an inch, and the height I chose was 28 inches. First, I cut the stock a little longer than I needed. I jointed the edges. Then I determined the width I wanted and trued up the edges on the table saw. After that, I ran both sides through the planer, and then with the sled on my table saw, I cut all the stock to exact length. 12 pieces comprise the frame. Once they're cut, you can begin assembly. I like to pre-drill the holes to prevent splitting. I also like to countersink. Next, clamp up the frame and secure it with grabbers, making sure it's square as you proceed. Once the frame is complete, tack on the sides with the brad nailer. The brad holes will be hidden by the molding that you'll apply later. Next, the face frame. Make the risers a little bit narrower than your 2x4 frame. Then attach your cross pieces with glue and brads and clamp it all up to hold it in place. Now wrap the front and sides with knotty pine that you've mitered. I made my moldings at the router table. I made a chamfer and a cove. I applied them above the pine I'd wrapped around the base, the chamfer on the bottom, and the cove on the top. Pay attention to your miters here. If you have sloppy miters, it's going to detract from the look you're trying to create. I cut a piece of plywood for the aquarium to sit on, and then wrapped it with pine that I'd coved on both sides. For the door, I chose some wood that had some color and some knots in it. I cut 3 pieces, chamfered the edges, and then cut some battens to secure them together. Then I sanded everything through 180 grit. Next, I applied a coat of linseed oil to make the grain pop out and to add a golden yellow tone to the wood. After 24 hours, I applied 2 coats of exterior polyurethane and then gently rubbed it out with 4/0 steel wool. And finally, I rubbed the whole project down with a coat of paste wax. The top is very similar to the base, except that I added biscuits to support the miters. The back support is attached with brad nails. It's just a butt joint. It only goes half the width of the top so that there's room for the heater and the filter on the back. The back half of the top was applied with brads. I just used plain spackle to fill the brad holes. Once they're sanded down and the linseed oil's applied, you hardly notice them. I attached a 1/2 inch wide rail along the bottom, 1/4 inch up from the bottom, so that the lid would sit down over the aquarium just a tad. Just some flat chest hinges and a knob, and that completes the lid. And this is the completed project. Obviously, I used pine so that it would match the wall that I had downstairs where I put the aquarium. This could be built out of MDF, plywood, even masonite. You could use the standard stock moldings that are available at your Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever you buy your lumber. This could be used on a larger aquarium. Just add more uprights, build it to fit the base. You may want to bolt the uprights to the frame rather than rely on grabbers if it's a large aquarium. Keep in mind, water weighs about 8 1/3 pounds per gallon, so 120 gallon tank's going to be a half ton, so you need some good support. And that's it. I hope this video is useful to you.